wind.
All right, so welcome to welcome to Dish to Diet and Face the Feelings in Mindful May. We were just catching up with Sammy D. Her sister has been competing at the European, tell me all about it.
Nations Cup in Denmark.
Right.
Great Britain on the British team. So we were just
congratulations to her. So you say she only came 10th, but you know, that literally means she's 10th in Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, because, you know, I mean, that's not good enough, obviously.
For her first time out there.
It was the first time on the British team.
Yes. And the horse food. And yes, that's not good enough because she was only 10th on her first time.
She did amazing. And you know what they say about working with, you know, kids and animals, you can never really anticipate the outcome. So yeah, she did admirably.
Yeah, that's awesome. The fact that she even got there is incredible.
Oh yeah, wouldn't believe it's been a lifelong thing for her to get this Great Britain badge. Yeah. And so, you know, I was crying at the TV, blowing snot bubbles yesterday.
So awesome.
You know, it was just crazy. I was a mess.
Yes, fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think of all of those years of just concerted mental effort focused on that goal.
Yeah. I mean, she's she's scary focused. I mean, when my sister gets something in her mind, it's already done. So everyone kind of, our stomachs flipped a couple of years ago when she started reading books on climbing Everest. You're not going to do that, are you? You're not going to do that. So no, she hasn't done that yet.
Yeah,
well, she put it off because she had something more important to do in the meantime.
Yeah. So I think she's aiming for the Olympics first.
That's so great.
And then she'll go up a mountain, probably.
Wow.
That's my
sister. You know, my son is like that too, and ever since he was 5 years old, he just had that capacity to mentally focus on this sports achievement, that whichever season he was in, but he could just focus on it. And it was just always fascinating to watch. But it's like he didn't outwardly talk a lot about what his overall goals were, but he definitely had them. Like, you know, during soccer in elementary school, when he wanted to score more goals than anybody else who was in the league. And so he did it 5 years in a row, you know, and then, you know, and then he moves on to the next level and he sets his own interior high goal that he wants to achieve.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And then he just like maintains that mindset and focuses on it, and just like event by event moves closer and closer to his goal. I need to take some lessons from my kid.
I remember playing soccer at university level. We intentionally decided that we wanted to be third stream instead of first or second. First stream was the guys that were playing nationals. Second tier or second stream was the guys that weren't quite good enough to make nationals and seemed to have a chip on their shoulder, but they were playing at a level of they took the game seriously. Whereas the third stream was the ones that we loved the game, but this is about the game. This is not about getting to nationals. This is not about being that level. And I can remember in the middle of winter, I'm out for a run and it's the day my period arrives. So I've got really bad cramps and I'm just about doubling over. And I guess, you know, my sugar dropped or whatever, and I'm leaning against a post going, oh, I should not have come for a run today. And one of the neighbors pulls over in the car and he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'll be fine. Just give me a moment, knowing damn well I was going to end up walking home. And so his wife gets out And she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, well, I got my period and I just, just almost blacked out from the pain, but I'll be okay. And she's like, why do you put yourself through this? And I was like, well, it's soccer season. And she's like, right. And that's more important than your safety and your health. But when you're in that place of the game is what matters. And like I said, I was third stream. We weren't even, we weren't going for nationals. We weren't going for who represents New Zealand. This was, we play this because we love the game and it's great social time.
Yeah.
And yet you're still at that place of, yeah, I put myself through this. Yes, I do. So I cannot imagine your sister, if I wasn't taking it seriously and I wasn't interested in nationals and what I was still committed to doing for the game.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine her level of commitment.
Oh, it's 7 days a week, 14 hours a day for the past 20 years. That's what it is. And, she has a couple of hours off at Christmas and an occasional date night. That's it. She doesn't she's just so focused. I mean, it's a dead straight line with her. There's no branches. There's no side steps. There's no, I'll go a bit slower. It's just,
yeah.
So I wish healthy eating was like that.
Well, what about?
I'm staying on it.
What about just general mindfulness and being in touch with your body, though?
I think that's really important to kind of, if you want to go on a straight line or focus like that,
mm-hmm.
You have to really concentrate on what you're doing. Yeah.
So what is the best time of day for that? I mean, do you have a specific, do you keep to a general kind of schedule for that? Or is it completely no, just when I remember?
Oh, it's daily. It's daily for me. I tend to apply it for my day, not just an aspect of what I'm doing in that day. So I will get up and I will have a quiet moment while my tea is brewing.
Mm-hmm.
Just to sort of say, okay, today's brand new. And just have a quiet think about how I'm going to be better for today. What else can I do? What more can I do? So it's kind of a morning thing with me.
Mm-hmm.
At night, I watch a cartoon. That's my mindfulness to fall asleep. And I just kind of fall asleep to that, and I wake up in the morning, the battery on my tablet is flat, and the day starts again. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
I know for me, and it comes back to childhood habits as well as to actual intention. As a kid, you learn to pray before each meal, but as an adult, I realized that moment before you start eating is a wonderful moment just to check in with your body. You've got the food on the plate. You've got everything already on the table, but before you start eating, check in with the body. Are you hungry?
Yeah.
And if you're hungry, how hungry are you?
That's pretty novel these days, though, isn't it? Because, I mean, if you're going back 20 years and you kind of said to, I don't know, the dinner supervisors in school, I'm not hungry, they'd say, finish your plate. You can't get up till you finish your plate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or
if
you get taken to, your grandparents who, lived through the wars.
Oh, yes. And the starving children in Africa. That's the one I got hit with.
Oh yeah, gosh.
Yeah.
We did so much. I mean, mostly it was finish what's on your plate.
Yeah.
Or you're not getting dessert, or you're not this.
Yeah.
That,
That's what we got too, all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And so there was none of this sitting in your body as to how hungry you are. And I mean, I know with Isabella, she's really clear about how hungry she is. You know, like the other morning I made her breakfast. She sat down, she ate it. She gave me the bowl back and it's like, I need some more, but not too much. Okay. You know, and so I made her half again. And I was like, well, just eat whatever you want. So she probably had about 3 or 4 more mouthfuls, and that was it. She was done. Mm. But it was, you know, her knowing, because I'm open to her knowing how hungry she is.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean because she's the one in her body and knows what she feels?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. It's just
How about that?
Such a radical idea that we can be in touch with our own sensations and know what it is that our body is telling us.
You know, and God forbid you let a 5-year-old choose how much they're going to eat. But she'll tell you if she's hungry. I mean, you guys have been on calls with me where she walks in and she's like, I'm hungry. and it's now. It's not, you know, when you get off the call. I'm hungry now.
Yeah. But I mean, even, you know, back when I were a lass, there were meal times as well. So, yes. You know, the past couple of years have been really radical for me because I'm learning to recognize when I'm hungry, which is if, you know, you suffer from any eating disorder, from overeating to the more serious
undereating, yes.
You know, you lose that sense of whether you're hungry. And you also lose the sense of when you're full.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you just keep on going. And that's, you know, you lose that sense of mindfulness.
Yeah.
So
and that's one of the reasons why I've come back to practicing that mindfulness at the table when I have the food already served, was because I lost that sense of hunger. And of course, you know, if you're going to eat in front of the TV, I mean, I don't, you know, I've done that. I don't know how many times you grab you grab the bag of chips instead of serving them on the plate. And then you don't understand how you finish the bag of chips and you're absolutely stuffed. And why did I eat this much? Well, because you mindlessly ate.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you weren't paying attention.
And attention.
I do the same with meal times now because
I
am the worst for my entire life for eating breakfast. I'm terrible at it. I don't do breakfast. I mean, for a long time it was coffee and cigarettes.
Right.
You know, now it's just, I don't, you know, coffee's fine or a cup of tea is fine. I don't do breakfast. And I've gone from kind of forcing myself, you must eat breakfast, it's good for you, to saying, okay, how do I feel? You know, the other day it was sort of about 11 a.m. and it was 3 oranges chopped up, and that was late breakfast. Yeah. You know?
Right.
I don't punish myself for not having breakfast anymore.
Right. And that's a huge one that I'm learning to do. I've started, you know, practicing this. I'll have breakfast when I'm hungry.
Yeah.
As opposed to I have to have breakfast at such and such a time.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh, I understand with modern working hours how that is difficult. I get that. You know, well, I need to have breakfast before I get on the train. Well, do you really? Because at least in England, you can eat on the train, no problem, if you wanted to. Or you could get to work and then eat before you started working.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of options if you want to consider them.
Absolutely.
And even if you look at the word breakfast, it means break my fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had been fasting through the night, and it doesn't mean by 8 a.m.
No.
But it just means that first meal of the day at whatever time. It's noon here right now, and I haven't eaten anything yet today.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get hungry, and when we're done with this call, I'll honor that hunger and, you know, give myself some food. But up until this point, every time I've checked in with myself, the hunger wasn't the loudest voice for what I needed right now. So it was like, okay, We'll just wait. We'll just wait.
Normally water for me for the first few hours of waking up. You know, I love water. I thank everything that's holy for water.
Yeah.
It makes me smile. It fills my heart up in the morning. And I can't get enough of it, you know?
Yeah.
Only water was Gerard Butler.
I drink a lot of water too, Sammy. It's my favorite. It's my go-to. Yeah. And somebody said to me once, she was marveling at how much water I drink, and she said, "You drink it like it's a beverage."
I worship water.
As if it's it
is a beverage.
Isn't it the basis of every single beverage? I mean,
really? Yeah. And
my sister, she can't stand plain water. She has to flavor it with stuff, and I'm constantly going on, that's full of sugar. She gets the flavored waters, and I'm like,
oh, but for me, I am not a fan of water, just plain water, but I love water with lemon juice. And so everyone's like, but you need some sugar. And I was like, no, it doesn't require sugar. Just give me, a slice of lemon, and I squirt that in, and I'm good. There's my happy water.
I mean, I'm drinking this blackcurrant stuff at the moment, but I'm about to empty it out and just replace it with water. So I'm kind of lucky that way, because I'm really, really love water.
My daughter is amazing about water. Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, breakfast in the morning for me is just, it's all about hydrating for me and waking up and opening the day out rather than forcing myself to have breakfast when
And how many of us are actually, we all wake up in a dehydrated state because we haven't.
Of course we do.
Liquid. So it really is the liquid that we need in the morning more than.
And how many people, at least of a certain age, don't drink a lot of water before they go to bed because, well, then I'll have to get up and go to the toilet. And so, they literally intentionally dehydrate themselves.
Yeah.
And of course,
I'd rather get up.
Well, not only that, if you're properly hydrated and you're drinking enough water, that's not going to happen anyway. But, trying to convince people that, well, if you just had water as opposed to sugary drinks, you probably wouldn't need to get up anyway,
Yeah. And it's definitely something to do with, sugar in food, not just in drinks, because if I eat later than I should, and it might be something with, sauce on it, which is rare these days, actually, I am awake 3-4 times a night because I'm thirsty, or, and it's definitely has something to do with, sugar and food.
Yeah.
So what about mindfulness in the evening? I gathered, Samantha, that's not your thing. You go to bed watching comics. What about you, Sarah? Do you do any mindfulness before you go to bed, before you go to sleep?
Every night I turn on binaural beats, and that's what I go to sleep to. And it usually takes me a while to actually fall asleep. So I just kind of drift into that rhythm of the beats that I'm listening to. And I'll alter those depending on what I have going on in my life. If there's, if I'm noticing a trend toward negativity or something, I might listen to something that's going to raise my positive vibration. Whatever it is, if I'm having a scarcity mindset, I'll listen to binaural beats on abundance. And if I have a viral infection, I'll listen to one that's going to
healing and health. Absolutely. Yeah.
But every night I turn one on, and I don't ever turn one on that's less than 1 hour long.
Right.
So it's always something more than that. So that's my biggest thing at night, and in reading. But as I'm going to sleep, definitely turning on those binaural beats.
Yeah, I mean, I know for me, I tend to do the same. I either am listening to an actual guided meditation to go to sleep, or more often than not, it's just going to be binaural beats, probably with the sound of water, either with a thunderstorm or with with a stream. And I will literally do a body scan of myself before I fall asleep. Just checking in. How am I doing? Yeah. And inviting my body to relax, inviting my body to let go of whatever it's holding for the day's tension, you know?
Because I do that occasionally because it helps, you know. I mean, particularly if you're stressed or thinking about something or overthinking something, or you've got some kind of problem, like, you know, we all do on a daily basis. You know, that helps sometimes. Certainly the body scan to switch everything off.
Yeah.
You know, that really is great for me. Even though straight after the meditation, I start, you know, getting comfortable and changing pillows and God knows what else. Yeah. Yeah, I do that occasionally.
Well, I have to say I've gotten used to, you know, I get in bed and it doesn't matter where I lie down on the bed. My dog, the moment he thinks I'm asleep, he gets up on the bed and he literally lies down back to back with me. And, you know, I used to just push him off the bed saying, no, you're not allowed on the bed. But, you know, I realized that he's going to wait till I really am asleep and he's going to get back on anyway.
Yeah.
So I finally reached a stage where I was like, you know what, that's absolutely fine. And not only that, it's kind of comfortable. So if he wants to sleep back to back, fine, I'll do it, you know?
Yeah.
And
I was going to say, Bernie curls up with me every night. And it's really funny because we have our little pattern, because as soon as we go into the bedroom and I'm going in to brush my teeth and he jumps up on the bed and gets comfortable. But then as soon as I pull the covers back, he moves over and he waits for me to get settled. And then he just comes up and curls in his little spot. Like every night.
He's so sweet.
And it's very comforting for me. I sleep really well knowing that he's there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I found it really funny because Isabella is like, well, I don't want to sleep by myself, so you have to tell Abuelo to come sleep with me. And I was like, he's not going to sleep with you. He's just, you know, that's not his human. But it's funny because the other dog, little by little, has started sleeping with her. And so, you know, like which is her dog anyway. And I was like, we've just got to get your dog used to the fact that she sleeps with you.
It's much like anything else.
Yeah.
So I mean, commonly, you know, we do these mindfulness routines in the morning and, you know, at night. I very occasionally, you know, if I'm staring at something for 3 hours or I'm writing for 4 hours, I'll take some time outside just to be quiet, still, and not in front of the computer screen, you know?
Yeah.
And that is just so beneficial, you know? It's amazing.
Well, as you guys know, often I'm sitting here at the desk and I've got literally a thermos of hot cocoa with me throughout the day. But I only do that on days where I know that everything is so back to back, I'm not going to have time to get up from my desk, because I prefer to have to go and put the jug back on and wait for it to boil. And I literally put the jug on and I sit down and I take those 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, however long the jug takes to boil, as being a time for mindfulness and a break.
Yeah.
How am I feeling? You know, this is my break between stopping one task and starting the next one. How am I doing?
Yeah.
And I think that we get really caught up in moving straight on to the next task. And the beauty of having that stop. You know, the human brain is made to have a break every 50, 55 minutes anyway. We need that. So give yourself that. Give yourself that time away, but don't just do it mindlessly. It's not to hop on the phone and look at social media. No, give yourself
an actual break. Yeah. That's one of the reasons I love where I live, is because I can just get up and stretch and look out and give my mind that expansive view and a place to rest throughout the day. So I insert mindfulness, weave it in throughout the day all day. And even when I'm cooking, you know, that can be a really meditative, mindful practice of what is going into the food. Like yesterday, when I made a lasagna, and then when you cook the noodles, well, for me to then sit and run them under cold water and just gently separate them with my, you
Yes.
know, and just appreciate the, you know, the every bit of it, the texture of the noodles, and moving them gently to a place where they can dry before they get put into the lasagna. You know? So like the
Yeah.
whole process is, I do it
I'm
very
completely
mindfully.
mesmerized right now. I can see my eyes going like this.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. I don't cook like that. No, that's not how I do it. I just chuck the water out.
Oh,
No.
yeah, see that, and that is how I cook. It's like
And
when I move into the kitchen to do the cooking, that's where I am. I'm in the
yeah,
kitchen with the food and the chopping and you know
yeah.
the smells and the sound of chopping or whatever it is, or you know, I'm right
I
there
think
with
I'll get to that place, but at the moment, it's just trying to stay alive in there.
it. Yeah, it's baby steps for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I know for me, the more mindful you are, even in something like cooking, it changes the taste.
Yeah.
You can give 5 people the exact same ingredients measured out exactly the same, and each one will cook it and it will taste different. So
Yeah.
it's, I mean, yes, it's partly ingredients, but that's not the whole thing. There's the attention you're putting into the process too. There's the intention you're putting into the process.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that my mom used to say that, you know, as you put each ingredient in, you need to bless it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all part of the intention of the love that she was putting into the cooking.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
all energy. It's all
But it's
energy.
also how much attention you're paying when you're eating it.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Because if
absolutely.
you're not paying attention, you're not really tasting it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, mindfulness is not really about sitting on a beanbag and burning some.
No.
You know, it's just
I
not
think
about
we're overcomplicating mindfulness. I think we're trying too hard.
Well, and part of the mindfulness trend that's going on is to where people think you're supposed to empty your mind.
No,
And
you're
that's
not.
not it at all. It's really
No.
to become totally present with
Yeah.
the moment, not to
Yeah.
empty your mind.
Yeah.
And so when we're talking about body mindfulness, it's about noticing, oh, my knee hurts. Well, what did I do? When did it start hurting? You know, it's about acknowledging what's going on in your body. It's about, you know,
But then
I mean, I don't know about you guys.
on the flip side, a body scan is kind of also noticing what's great about
absolutely. Yeah.
And maybe just noticing that your knee hurts and then moving on.
And that is a big part of it. It's being, I mean, like, I know for me, I notice a part of me hurts. And my question to my body is, what do I need to do to support you? What do I need to do differently tomorrow so that I'm helping you heal? And for example, I mean, I just got off a coaching session with Sarah and Wendy, and I had been saying my gut wasn't doing so well. And yet when I got down into my gut, the message from my gut was, I'm a lot healthier than you're giving me credit for.
Yeah.
I am doing so much better.
And do you know what? Paying attention to your body like that, this is what a difference it makes, right? 7 years ago, I had chronic long-term back pain, was taking anti-inflammatories, codeine, morphine. I was taking 5 different painkiller prescription drugs for it. And now I'm not taking any. And I'm not in pain.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm paying attention to how I'm treating myself.
Right.
In terms of my back. And I haven't taken a painkiller for probably 9-10 months.
Right. but it's coming into, what does my body need from me?
Yes.
What do I need to be doing to support my body? You know, I know for me, if I start getting lower back pain and I ask my body what it needs, the answer probably is sit-ups. And it's like, oh, would you shut up? I know I don't,
you know, roll back and forth on the floor. Grab your knees and roll, honey.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, I need you to do the right kind of movement to support me. That's what I need.
I know when my back's starting to fire warning shots over the bow, like, hey, lady, you haven't stretched for the past 3 days before you get
right.
You know, that's what I do now instead of, I mean, you wouldn't believe the amount of prescription drugs I used to take 10 years ago.
Right.
I mean, frightening. Like, you know, 5 pills a day, 3 times a day. I was out of it, completely out of it.
Of course, your head can't handle all of that because your body's not, I mean, your poor kidneys and liver trying to process all of that. Yeah.
Exactly. And then, you know, all of a sudden I said, nope.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that anymore.
And I think one of the hardest things is people think that mindfulness, I'll do mindfulness today and that'll take care of it. No, this is something I mean, I know. I see.
No. You don't have to just do it on the first day of every month. What?
No,
I tried that yesterday. It doesn't work.
Exactly. But you know, this is something that it becomes a daily practice. And then when your body tells you, I need this, you actually have to do it. You got to make that subtle change of your body's asking for this. Well, that's what you got to do. It's not just, oh, I did the mindfulness practice. It's I did the mindfulness practice and then I made the change I had to make.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just say, I tried it once 6 months ago and it didn't work. First of all, it's a daily thing. Anything to do with your brain, like any other part of your body, you have to work on it, you know?
Yes.
And secondly, you have to act upon it. Once you discover mindfulness and what your body is telling you, you then have to do it. So, you know, it's a daily job. I mean, I'm still working on it with my eating and stuff, but you know, the me today versus the me 10 years ago.
Oh, it's incomparable. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's hard work. You've got to practice.
Yeah. And it's not that it's not a whole lot of time. We're not talking about you got to do half an hour a day or even 20 minutes a day. Sometimes it's only 2 to 3 minutes a day, but you have to do it and you've got to do it consistently.
And the key the key in what Sammy said is it's a practice. It's a mindfulness practice. It's not a destination. It's not an acquisition of a certain level of anything. Right. It's a continual practice.
Yeah, it's not a tool that you pick when you need it. It's
something you're doing.
Brushing your teeth in the morning. It's just part of who you are and part of your life. But you have to make it part of your life and not just use it like, you know, oh, I tried that last week. It didn't work.
Yeah. All right, lovelies. As always, we are way over time. I don't know where the time goes, but anyway, it has been fabulous talking to you guys. What are we doing in June in Nourish? I know we've been talking about Jumping June, but what will Jumping June? No, Sammy, not like that.
No, not jumping. Oh, okay.
Not that kind of. No.
How about jump into something new? Jump into something exciting. Jump into trying new things.
Yeah. So come and join us in Nourish. We have got a new challenge starting the 1st of June, and we'll be announcing that inside the group. Of course, you're going to hear about it on our, next week's panel.
Everywhere.
But well, of course, yeah. But come join us in Nourish, and as always, you're going to find in Nourish a whole host of resources. There's recipes, there's support, And there's all sorts of videos and stuff that you can get involved with, and a community that, you know, you ask a question, and if one of us that's on the panel doesn't have the answer, there is bound to be somebody in the community that already knows. Definitely. They've already been through this. And they've already tried it.
Vouch for the Nourish group, because I mean, it's so new in their approach to nutritional interest. I haven't seen anywhere else like it. So,
yeah. So come and join us, and look forward to seeing you all next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.